A very good afternoon to all my dear students, Mr. Rakesh, Om Gupta, Pathak Jignesh, Vansh, Asha Begum, Harshita, all of you students, Anand Goel, Gautam Verma, Janvi, Rushi, Amit, Manish Singh, Chaitanya Chaudhary, Pavitra, Apurva. Apurva, I'm reading for the first time. So good, Apurva, you have joined the class. Pratyush, Pranathi, Akashta, all of you. Good afternoon, students. And I hope you are equally enthusiastic and having the same zeal, sitting with your pens and pencils in hands. Yes, of course, with your pens and pencils and the sheets and notebook in hand, and ready to make the notes for the balance chapter 3, which we'll try to wind up almost as possible, as much as we can do today. Good afternoon, Sneha, Prasad, Gobik Shri, Mr. M, Shalini S, Abhishek, Shruti, Vindhya, Jia Walia, Amar, Aditya Gupta, and Pratima Upadhyay, Bhavna, all of you children. And I'm so happy to read those who have written, ma'am, we have revised the content. So applause for all of you. Unit 1 is done, formation of contract of sale, conditions and warranties is complete. And today we'll be completing almost the third unit, that is your transfer of ownership and delivery. In the next 2 sessions of sale of goods, we'll try to revise as well as do the descriptive questions from the mock test papers. I'm going to hold a interesting quiz for you in the beginning of the session also. We'll be starting the session by going through a question paper from the mock test papers, which has already been uploaded on the Institute website. So we'll try to see how well you have studied, how well you have revised. Yes, Mr. Mohammed Shoaib. Let me see. Great, Apurva. That's wonderful. Well done. So let me see how well you have prepared and how good you perform. And then we'll be winding up with the last unit of unpaid self. Yes, Shanvi, we'll try to complete the descriptive questions from study also. Don't worry. And I have uploaded the PDF of Unit 1, 2, and 3, as well as the tests of the MCQs from Chapter 1 and 2. So please definitely try to go through them as well. And just confirm me if you can see the PDF uploaded on the website. Mr. Piyush Gupta, it's already uploaded along with 1, 2. Okay, Ms. Roshni says, I'm the new to the class and have not completed. So it's absolutely fine. Just go through the recorded videos for Unit 1 and 2. And today, we'll be completing Unit 3. We are already doing transfer of ownership and property. Even if you have not attended the previous one, you can start listening from now also carefully. Okay. Yes, Mr. Keshav, that's great. And all right, Ms. Bhavna, good that you have joined from today. Well done. Okay, Prakriti. Happy birthday, Prakriti Goel. Wonderful to know that it's your day today. All right, students. So here in front of you, this is the mock test paper in front of you of November 2022. I think it's a question paper itself. So I have just opened it. So you can just refer to your all the eyes and ears here I want. So as I have always told you that the first question is generally from the Indian Contract Act. So this is just a mock test paper out of which we'll be understanding and doing the question which is related to your sale of goods. So you're studying sale of goods. So as I always tell my students, first complete your syllabus, complete your chapters, and after that, try going into your mock test papers and revision test papers. Never try to jump without studying over here. Okay. Then you tend to confuse yourself. So our agenda is not confusing ourselves. We have to be very careful. So your quiz time starts now. Nobody is going to peep into the answers. You will pay all the attention over here, and how soon I get the answers tells me that whether you have cheated or not. So question number 6, first part is in front of you. It says, C bought a bun from baker's shop. The piece of bun contained a stone in it, which broke C's tooth while eating. What are the rights available to the buyer against seller? You simply have to tell me what is the provision that you need to refer over here. How you have to write the answer, that is my duty. That is what I'm going to teach you today. So question number 6, part 1 is talking about what concern provision. What do you need to refer to over here? I'm not asking you to write down the entire answer because it's a descriptive question. It will take you too long to write the entire answer. So you can generally give a reference to what it is referring. Okay. Those who have read the first one and have replied, you can also see the second one. A contracts with B to buy 50 chairs of certain quality. B deliver 25 chairs of the quality which was agreed upon, and 25 chairs which are of some other type. Remember the basmati rice that I always teach you? He has given 25 kgs basmati rice, 25 kgs another quality. So उसने basmati rice नहीं लिया, chair ले लिया. So half of the chairs are of the quality required. Half of the chairs are not as per the quality. What are the rights of A against B under sale of goods act? Now, very beautifully, you simply have to tell me what provisions are applicable to 6.1 and to 6.2. Let me see my smart future chartered accountants, how well you have studied. Yes, Sankita, all the case laws will be covered. Ms. Neha, you can get in touch with the admin at Institute if you're facing this problem. Definitely, you should make the notes, Aniket. Komalpreet is the first one. Janvi is the first one to send the correct answers. Anshika, Aniket, Sneha, Krishna, all of you have answered it correctly. Yes, it is related to implied conditions, Sneha. That's wonderful. And that can also be applied. Very good, students. I'm so happy you're applying your mind and knowledge. Miss Lakida Parveen, you're also correct. So somebody is writing it is breach of condition as to quality and fitness. I don't know why you have gone over there. And those who have written it is a breach of implied condition as to wholesomeness. Wonderful. All those who have written breach of condition as to wholesomeness is absolutely correct answer. And I'm super proud. Remember, I told you in respect of eatables. चाहे आप ब्रेड की बात कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप चीज की बात कर रहे हैं, मिल्क की बात कर रहे हैं, condition as to wholesomeness as well as merchantability is applicable. So merchantability is Gopik Shri, there was nothing about samples. So just wait. Now everybody please come back over here. Let's listen to the answers. And many of you have really written very well. So that's wonderful. So now how you have to write the answer. So first you will talk about the provision, concerned provision, that is condition as to wholesomeness. In case of eatables, in addition to merchantability, there is an implied condition that the goods should be wholesome. यही कहता है लॉ, तो पहले आपने लॉ लिखना है कि लॉ कहता है. अब now what happened in this case? C can recover damages because there has been violation of the condition. Bun from the baker is not of merchantable quality. Now just see a simple answer. You just have to play with the words. You'll write the concerned provision. This case, this particular example case study refers to the condition as to wholesomeness. Write a line about it. Define it. What is implied condition as wholesomeness? One line more you have to write. What is the conclusion? Then you write the facts of the case. Okay, this is what happened. The bun from the baker was not of merchantable quality. They have merged this conclusion. So this should be your facts of the case. This one statement is the facts from the case. And this should be probably the conclusion that now C can recover the damages. And what else he can do? He can resign the contract. He can put an end to the contract. He can return the goods and also claim his money back. Damages to recover karega. It tooth broke ho gayi. Stone tha usme, so he will recover the damages. All right. And also he can return the goods back. Clear, everybody, those who have answered it correctly, wonderful. Applause to yourself because you have been paying attention to the previous lectures. That's why you could answer it. Bhavna, if you could not answer it because you have not attended the previous lectures, then don't worry, revise the previous lectures and then you will be able to answer. Okay, now let's move to another one, delivery of different description. Now here students, two concepts have been combined. So all those who have written, ma'am, the goods were not as per description, well done, that's great. Another part is talking about the delivery, which is the second part of chapter that we're already doing for transfer and ownership. Simply tells you where the seller deliver the goods to the buyer and he mixed the goods of different description. Now here he has three different options. Say for example, buyer has accepted the contract. So he can either accept the one which are of my quality, I'll accept it and I'll reject the whole. But if by mistake he accepts the whole, then he might not be able to reject the balance. So here acceptance has to be given depending upon the delivery of goods. So simply you have to write A may accept. First you will refer to the provisions. It has the provision where the delivery of goods have got mixed. Second, the goods should be as per description. Breach of implied condition has happened. Therefore, he may accept 25 chairs and he may reject the balance 25 chairs as they were not agreed upon, or he can reject all of the 50 chairs. He also have this right. So this 50 chairs wala rejection you will understand when we will be talking about delivery. अभी हमने जितना पढ़ा हुआ है, goods should be as per description, so he can accept the goods which are as per description and he can return the balance goods. Clear ho gaya? Everybody is clear about this thing. So see how beautiful the questions come and how beautifully they have been answered. Since we have already opened the mock test papers, let us go through another important question. And I'm trusting all of you that you're not going to cheat and tell me the answers. So let's read this question number 7. It's very interesting. It says, Ankit needs a black pen for his exams. He went to a nearby stationery shop and asked the seller for a black pen. So once you're reading the case studies now, students in law paper, it seems as if you're attempting a English comprehension. That's why law is always kept with BCR, business communication. So in law also, when you get the case studies, these are like small comprehensions where you have to read the questions and then try to find the answers from that paragraph itself. So seller gives him a pen saying that it is a black pen, but it was clearly mentioned on the packet that black ink pen, blue ink pen. Very, very simple question. Without even reading further question, you must have made up your mind कि ये क्या कह रहा है. Aniket ignored that and takes the pen. After reaching home, Ankit finds that the pen is actually a blue pen. Now he wants to return the pen with the words that seller has violated the implied conditions. He said that I told you the goods should be as per description and now you have not given as per description. I have studied Herlene's ma'am class. She told us if the goods are not as per description, just get up from your seat and go and return the goods. Now, is Ankit attentive in my class? Is he doing the right thing? You all have to tell me. Is Ankit right in saying that he can return the pens? If yes, why? If no, why? बस इतना सा आंसर देना आपने मुझे. You don't have to tell me the whole story. You just have to tell me if yes, why, if no, why. Come on, let me see your answers. Very good. Those have sent the answers correctly. Wonderful. Why are you saying breach of condition as to be Janvi? That was not the case of breach of warranty. Definitely, Miss Sia, you can do that. There is no harm in doing that. Implied condition as to wholesomeness. All those who have caveat emptor, excellent. Komalpreet, you want to be the topper of my class. Always the first one to answer. Even Yagesh, Om Gupta, Momita, correct. Shalini, Krishna, Aniket. Okay, here we have Aniket. That's why I was calling Ankit also Aniket. Jia Walia, Vedant, Sneha, Janvi, all of you are correct. It's the buyer's mistake. I like that line, Miss Shriyas. Mr. Shriya S. Namanpreet. Namanpreet, excellent. It was his duty to check before buying the goods. Varun, Kushi, Gautam, Bhumika, Pratima, Kriti. All of you are correct, students. So many of you. Ritu, Sahana, Anshika, Prasad, Vidisha, Vishnu, Anjali, Lavina, Ritu, Divyanshi. All of you are correct, students. You have really won my heart today. And I'm super proud, all my future chartered accountants. Now you will clearly, confidently pass your exam if you keep on studying with the same zeal. Now you have given the correct answer. Just pay attention over here. I'm going to tell you how you have to write this answer. So first paragraph in such descriptive questions are generally of 4 marks or 6 marks in your paper. So you will write down the concerned provision. जो आपका पहला paragraph होगा, that will always be about concerned provision. You remember the section? Write it. Otherwise, you can simply say according to Sale of Goods Act 1930. नाम तो एक्ट का याद हो ही गया ना, तो वो तो लिख ही सकते हैं. तो अगर नहीं सेक्शंस याद आते तो स्मार्टली लिखो according to Sale of Goods Act 1930. When the goods are bought as per the description, then there is an implied condition that the goods should be as per the description. That is correct. But if the buyer can find the defect, then this rule will not apply. Then the rule of caveat emptor is applicable. Okay, there is some error in the answer that they have written over here. It should be the rule of caveat emptor is applicable. That means the buyer should examine the goods before buying it. Okay. See, now he is writing over here, the rule of caveat emptor will be applicable. So please correct it in your online stuff also. It should be the rule of caveat emptor is applicable. Okay, ye not hata dena word. Because when you say that the buyer, if I'm seeing this water bottle and I can find the defect, then also I'm buying it. And then I'm going home and cribbing that I asked you for a nice water bottle and it has defect. Something which can be examined. You can mention about the latent and hidden defects also. So here it was not a latent defect, it was a visible defect. So if you can see, you should have read that it is reading a black pen. It's reading blue pen, you should not have bought it. So first you'll write the concerned provision referring to the case of caveat emptor. Then you will write down the facts of the case. Children, facts of the case means what the question is asking for. Question में क्या कहा गया है उसको बोलते हैं facts of case. So as it is, make a summary of the question. Ankit orders a black pen. Seller gives him a pen which is black pen, but on the pen it is written it is a blue pen. Ankit is ignoring the transaction and now he is finding that the pen is bluing and he wants to return the pen. In your own words, just 2-3 lines, write summary. कितना इंटरेस्टिंग है सेकंड पैराग्राफ, क्वेश्चन में से ही लिखना है सारा का सारा. एंड फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ वही है जो आपने मुझे आंसर में लिखा है कैवेट एम्प्टर. नाउ कम्स योर कंक्लूजन. लिसन केयरफुली. Learn this line every time you do a descriptive question based on the above provisions and facts. हम अब lawyers हैं, CAs हैं, professionals हैं. In our answers, we will always write on the basis of above analysis, or based on the above provisions and analysis, or on the basis of above provisions and facts. We can say here Ankit can find the defect using his ordinary diligence, means using his ordinary intelligence. Diligence means your mindset. How can you see the diligence means something which is visible? You can do a due diligence, you can verify the things. He could have applied his mind and read that it is written clearly that it is a blue ink pen and not on black. Therefore, rule of caveat emptor is applicable. Ankit cannot return the pen. Actually, में आंसर क्या था इस क्वेश्चन का? सिर्फ ये लाइन. Rule of caveat emptor will be applicable and Ankit cannot return the pen. But my dear students, if you want to score 4 full marks, or if it is a 6 marks question, you want to score full 6 marks, you have to write this entire history geography. If my student write that rule of caveat emptor is applicable and Ankit cannot return the pen and I am your examiner, I will give you just 1 mark. Answer सही है but लिखा ही नहीं, समझाया ही नहीं मुझे. How do I know? You are professional chartered accountants. You should write the concern provision. You should write the facts of the case, and then you should write the conclusion. Then you get full marks in your case study. Understood? All those who keep asking me, ma'am, how to attempt the question paper. So this is the first question that I've done with all of you today. This is how we'll be understanding and writing also the further questions. I'll be covering more such questions so that you get a complete understanding of how to attempt the paper. All right. So I hope you all enjoyed doing this examination question papers. Now let us start with our chapter where we left it, and also we have to read from the study material about the concern provisions. So let me just show all of you the presentation. So we have already done, students, the rules for the unascertained of future goods by description. You remember I showed you this previous year question paper. Twice this question has come in the exam, straight 6 marks question. Write the provisions relating to sale of unascertained goods and its appropriation. So I wanted to cover this from study material also. I remember that we did not read the study that day. So all of you can open your study material also, and we will take it up from there as well. Let me just open the study material for all of you. Chapter number 3, transfer of ownership and delivery of goods. So you remember we discussed all these transfer of property. So property means the general property. What happens in case of specific goods are in a deliverable state? Let's have a quick revision. The goods property passes. What happens in the first case for the specific goods? Thank you so much, Krishna Katel. Akash is saying if he's buying in bulk, how can we check that? So again, Akash, then that time you have to refer whether he's checking a sample or how he's buying the products. Ishika Roy, again, it has to be seen as per description and caveat emptor, which is more applicable, that will be applied. Good, Janvi. Immediately, very good. All those who have answered, property passes immediately. Well done, students. And what in the second case, specific goods to be put in a deliverable state. Then when the property passes. Mr. Suryansh Sarswat, your question is very interesting. He's saying, if it is written on the pack that it is a black pen, and then also when he comes home it is blue, then two situations will happen. Number one, if you're allowed to test the pen, please test it before buying it. Number two, he has packed it in such a way and you're not allowed to test, and it is written on the packet, it is black and it turns out to be blue. Please go back to the shopkeeper and explain him that the goods are not as per description and return. All right. Mr. Suryansh, I hope it's clear now. Yes, property passes immediately in the first case. What happens in the second case? Excellent, Anand, Gaur, Divyanshi, very good, all of you. Mehek, appropriation of goods, Mehek, no. Here you have to, notice to the buyer has to be given. Very good, all those who have written. Once the goods are put in the deliverable state, remember that oil examples where you had to put the oil in the casks and you have to inform the buyer. So once you have done those activities and you have called up the buyer, property gets transferred. Pratima, in future date, no, that's wrong. That's not the correct answer. Once the goods are in deliverable state, that's the correct answer, and you have to inform the buyer. Good. Pranati, Jia, Chanchal, all of you are good. Yogesh, many of you have written the correct answers. I'm not going to the names. And in the third case, once you have ascertained the price. So you went to the shopkeeper, vendor, vegetable vendor, you asked him to give you 5 kgs tomatoes. He weighed the 5 kgs tomatoes. He told you, ma'am, the bill is somewhere around 700 to 800 rupees. And now the property gets transferred once you're ready to make the payment for that. Okay. So try going and weighing and measuring testing is done. Very good, Vikas job. After all those things have been done, you inform the buyer, the goods get transferred. Excellent. Specific goods, sabko clear hai? Very nice. Goods must be ascertained. Everyone is clear for section 23, subsection 1. Section 23, subsection 2. Are you clear on this? Let's have a quick revision. In case of uncertain goods, students, what happened? The property gets transferred when they're sold by description. So in the same example, when you're asking for a black ink pen, he's taking out that black ink pen, he's giving you the same black ink pen, property gets transferred immediately. What was the second case which bothered my students? Delivery to the carrier. Yeah, I know many of you still have a doubt in this. So let us read each and every line from here. What happens when the goods are given to the carrier? I told you to write down who is a carrier. Carrier over here means a transporter to whom the goods have been given for transporting from one place to another. That is the meaning of a carrier. And second line means a bailee. Who is a person? Bailee is a person who is supposed to take care of your goods, right? If I am the railway authorities and I'm taking your goods from Delhi to Pune, don't you think I have to be very careful about your goods, even if I'm not the owner? But the way I'm taking care of my other goods, my passengers, I will take care of your goods also, because here I'm acting as a bailee. Or it can be a buyer's agent. Law says now once the goods have been given. So I am a seller, Harleen ma'am in Chandigarh, she's the seller. She has given the goods to railway authorities to deliver them to Mr. Suryansh in Bombay. So now I have handed over the goods to the railway authorities. He's acting as the buyer's agent. I have already sent the document of title to goods, that is the railway receipt is already with Mr. Suryansh. So Mr. Suryansh at Bombay will go out to the railway authorities. He will show that railway receipt and take the goods. This is what will happen. So now where is the risk? Property and goods have been passed or not? Law says once I have transmitted it to the carrier, means to the transporter, means to the railway authorities, it is assumed that the goods have been given to the buyer. Number one, where you have given the goods to the transporter. Number two, I have not reserved the right to disposal. I have made an unconditional appropriation. Number three, please mark down these 3 points. Number one, you have given the goods to the railway authorities. Yes, ma'am, you have given the goods to the railway authorities. Number two, did I say that I will give the goods only if you make me the advance payment? Did I impose any such condition? Payment to aapne karni hai. If I'm selling the goods, you will definitely make me the payment. But have I imposed any condition? Have I reserved the right? Have I told the railway authorities that please bring it back whenever I say? No, I'm not reserving the right. I have given to the railway authorities. Now these railway authorities are acting as the agent of Mr. Suryansh, who is the buyer. They're supposed to take the goods from me and hand it over to Mr. Suryansh on showing the railway receipt. So I have given the goods out of my custody. I have unconditionally appropriated, means I have sent them without any condition, and I'm not reserving my right to disposal. Then, my dear students, section 23, subsection 2 will become applicable, and the property is set to pass to the buyer immediately. अब रास्ते में नुकसान होता है, थेफ्ट होता है, फायर लगती है उस रेलवे को, या कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होती है, I am not responsible. Mr. Suryansh, these are your goods. You will have to take care of them. He will be held responsible for any accidental loss or theft. This is not what I am saying. This is what section 23, subsection 2 tells. So bill of lading was made and it was in the name of the buyer. Ownership has already been transferred. Now if the goods get lost, seller will not be liable. Similarly, let's read example number 5. P places an order with a bookseller in Mumbai and he's sending him the goods by courier. Payment was to be made by check. Now what happened? I have said I'm selling you the goods, but the payment is to be made by check. Seller sends the books by courier and the books get lost. Seller wants the buyer to bear the loss. Why? Because he has unconditionally appropriated the goods. Buyer has immediately become the owner. So he will have to bear the risk of loss. Means uski zimmewari mani jayegi. Buyer will be held liable. You cannot tell the seller that no, it got lost. Now send me another book. It is not my headache. It got lost, so it got lost. I made an what you have to apply. Was it an unconditional appropriation? Yes, ma'am, it was an unconditional. Did I reserve the right? No, ma'am, you did not reserve the right of disposal. Have I given the goods to the transporter? Yes, ma'am, you have given. So property has passed. Simple. ज्यादा दिमाग लगाना ही नहीं यार, बुक्स खराब होगी क्या होगी. सेक्शन 23 सबसेक्शन 2 अप्लाई करेंगे. तीनों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड है, बायर विल bear the loss. What happens where I'm reserving the right? We will understand when we go to section 25. That is different. Under section 25, I will teach you seller is liable. So अभी के लिए एक छोटा सा नोट लिख लो. Section 23 subsection 2. Section 23 subsection 2. Miss Mehak Agarwal, this is what section 23 subsection 2 says. So let's keep blaming the buyer. Let's not worry. Right to dispose means, Ishika, that I am putting a lien on the goods. I am having my rights on the goods. Have you ever seen the shopkeeper once he has given you the goods? Does he ever say that I will come and take it back tomorrow from you? He's not saying that. He's giving you with freedom. So right of disposal means उसको कैसे तोड़ना है, क्या करना है उन goods का पूरा हक, पूरा का पूरा right मैंने buyer को दे दी. Unconditional appropriation, Chanchal, means without any condition. अगर मैं बोलूं कि I will sell goods to Miss Chanchal saying only if it is raining, I will sell goods to Miss Chanchal only if she gives me 100 rupees right now, then I am imposing conditions. But I to quietly give your goods to railway authorities without any condition. Then that means unconditional, without any condition. Swapanali, I am speaking so much in Hindi. What else you want me to speak in Hindi? Please आप क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए जो आपको नहीं समझ आया. स्वपनली गैकवद, I will explain you. आपको जो नहीं समझ आया आप पूछ सकते हैं. Okay? Yes, please, students. Now write down section 23, subsection 2. You have to check if three conditions are there. Once the goods have been given to the transporter or courier. The goods have been given to the transporter or courier for transporting to the buyer. Number 2, seller is not reserving the right of disposal. Right of disposal means how to dispose of the goods, how to use those goods. That right is not with. And number 3, I have made an unconditional, seller has made the unconditional appropriation of goods. Seller has made the unconditional appropriation of goods. In all these cases, buyer becomes the owner. However, this section is different from section 25. This section is different from section 25. Mr. Akash, this provision which I am speaking has to be spoken in English because you have to attempt your paper in English. Explaining part मैं हिंदी में समझा दूंगी. अभी लिख लो बेटा जो मैं आपको कह रही हूँ. Okay? So section 25, this section is different from section 25, where the seller is reserving the right to disposal. Where the seller is reserving the right to disposal. In that case, seller will be considered as the owner. In that case, seller will be considered as the owner and he will bear the loss. And he will bear the loss. So, Mr. Suryansh, I hope you have written what I'm saying right now. When we go to section 25, this question will get answered. Okay? So, everybody is clear? Section 23. Mr. Ram, again, apply section 23, subsection 2, and you also have to see if you are making any kind of contract. Okay, Asha Begum, I hope you have written it down. अब हिंदी में जो लोग कह रहे थे ध्यान से सुन लो. आपने ये देखना है अगर 3 कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड है. नंबर 1, आपने गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्टर को दे दिए ले जाने के लिए दूसरे स्टेशन पर. नंबर 2, आपने कोई कंडीशन नहीं लगाई, कोई शर्त नहीं लगाई कि अगर मेरे पैसे आएंगे या फिर कुछ ऐसा होगा तभी गुड्स देने. आपने तो गुड्स दे दी, कंडीशन नहीं लगाई. ये तो इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन है कि पेमेंट होनी. फ्री में कोई सेल नहीं कर रहा है. दोज हु आर आस्किंग मैम इफ पेमेंट इज नॉट देयर, प्लीज अप्लाई योर माइंड, पेमेंट हैज टू बी मेड. एक होता है कंडीशन लगा देना कि नहीं नहीं जब तक पेमेंट नहीं आएगी तब तक गुड्स नहीं देना. मैंने ऐसी कंडीशन नहीं लगाई है, शर्त नहीं लगाई. एंड तीसरी चीज, आई एम नॉट रिजर्विंग द राइट टू डिस्पोजल. रिजर्व मतलब अपने पास रख लेना, राइट मतलब हक, डिस्पोजल मतलब उसके यूज का. सो मैंने कोई भी राइट नहीं रखा है उन गुड्स के ऊपर. अगर ये 3 कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड होती है तो बायर को ओनर माना जाएगा एंड बायर विल बी हेल्ड लायबल. इससे ज्यादा हिंदी नहीं बोल सकते. आई होप अब समझ आ गया आपको. Okay? So now if examiner tells you that please write that 6 marks question that has come twice and thrice in exam, then you have to write all this analysis. So study material has always beautifully given you the analysis also, that you don't have to just read the provisions. The provisions have already broken into points and made you write it down also. But if he asks you what is uncertain goods, first define what are the uncertain goods. Out of the bulk, you're buying few goods. That is the sale of uncertain. How are they appropriated? Appropriation of goods means selection of goods. So here selection of goods has to be done in order to confirm the price. Yes, students, I hope I'm audible. I think some connection issue in between. I hope you can hear me now. Yeah, in case of sale of uncertain goods, we were just discussing, and the appropriation, it means selection of the goods. So here, when we are selecting the goods, we have to do it without any condition. So the contract is for the uncertain of future goods. Number one, this is the condition. Number two, the goods should be as per the description. The goods are in deliverable state. So all are these the essential elements for the appropriation of goods. Okay, thank you for confirming it's audible. And the goods must be unconditional. Unconditional means there is no condition. I am not putting any kind of imposing any condition, that you can only deliver it if something has happened. Appropriation can be made by the seller with the assent of buyer. We understood that day, either I can pick up the goods and pack them, or you can pick up the goods. Assent can be given either before or after the appropriation. All right. So these are the cases which you have to write down when the goods are sold on appropriation. Goods sent on approval and return basis. Children, section 24, we have already covered in the previous lecture. This musical instrument example we have done. Example number 7 and 8 we are going to do today. A delivered some jewelry to B on sale on return basis, and B pledged the jewelry with C. Now what happened? A has given the jewelry. So in sale on return basis, you remember 3 conditions we have to see. Either you can tell the acceptance of the goods, or if you fail to reply for the goods will be considered have been selected and bought. Now here the goods have been given on sale and return basis, and B pledged the jewelry with C. Here the ownership will get transferred to B because he has adopted this transaction. Now you have to tell me in example number 7, where A has given the jewelry to B on sale and return basis. Has B replied him that I have accepted the goods? No, he did not reply. Has the time period passed? No, it did not pass. So the third category, what happened? He has done something which means that he has become the owner. Here he has pledged the goods. So this pledging can only be done if you're the owner. So now he can only recover the prize money. A has no right against C, who is the true owner. It will be considered as if B has accepted the goods, and the third category of sale on return basis will become applicable. Now B is bound to pay the price. B must make the payment. It is assumed that B has become the owner because he has pledged the goods further. Similarly, A sends to B a motor car on approval and return basis, and B return it after trial. The motor has not been returned within reasonable time. Now, what was the time period? He said that please see if the goods are fine and return them by March 2020. He is returning them by August 2020. Here, reasonable time has lapsed. Therefore, A is not bound to accept it and B must pay the price. So example number 7, third condition has been fulfilled. That's why he has become the owner. Example number 8, second condition has been fulfilled. That's why he become the owner. When we go to the presentations, I will show you all those 1, 2, 3 conditions. Here you can write down example number 7. Third condition is fulfilled. Example number 8. Second condition is fulfilled. And what happened in example number 9? Here there is a condition of cash. So when you are selling the goods on cash and return basis, in such a case, the property will never become the other person unless and until you have paid the price. So Mr. Suryansh, where you were asking me, ma'am, payment has to be made. Example number 9 is the case where the goods are sold on cash and return basis. There the property will get passed only if the cash is paid. So if I am sending the goods to Mr. B through railway authorities, but I'm sending the goods on cash and return basis, then buyer will become the owner only when the cash is paid. Unless and until that, seller only remains the owner. So let's take a small break over here. I request you all to go through example number 7, 8 and example number 9. And meanwhile, I'll just go through your queries and let's take a break here. Yes, students, welcome back. Difference, Mr. Bittu Singh is asking the difference between owner and title. Please, children, we have discussed this n number of times. Title to the goods means the ownership. So title is the word which is used in order to make sure whether you have the title to goods or not. Means whether you are the owner or not. So title means ownership. Okay, Mr. Akash is saying in example number 9, why A will recover jewelry from C and not why A will recover jewelry from C, not to A. Please write it correctly what you want to ask. Okay. So let's go. I hope everyone is clear on example number 9. Have you read, students? Definitely, Mr. Rohit. If it is sold on sale on return basis, then if something has been done by the buyer which makes confirm that it is kind of sale, then he will become the owner. Okay, don't worry, Bhavna. Even if you have started studying from today, please try looking into the previous lectures, make notes. How to make notes? You can refer to study material is the Bible for all of you. And you can refer to my presentations, understand, and then make short notes. Like I'm making you write down in different points. So always after this class, children, all of you, after the lecture, please write it down in your fair notebook. Write it down, everything very nicely. So when you have proper written notes in hand for law, subject anyways becomes very interesting and you enjoy studying that. Yes, Swastika Verma, absolutely correct. Ritu, correct. Ayush is saying example 9 in Hindi. Mr. Vansh Arora, all the provisions and amendments are covered in the current session. So always try to pay attention over here, okay? Okay, so A delivered his jewelry to B on sale and cash and return basis. So all those who are again asking about example 9. So let me just explain you once again. So where you're selling the goods. अब यहाँ पर मैंने condition लगा दी कि जब मेरी payment होगी तभी goods delivered मांगे जाएंगे to the then only it will be considered as if the sale is complete. So here it was held that A was giving the jewelry to B on the basis of cash and return basis. So when I'm selling you the goods in cash and return means B either has to pay me the cash, then only the goods will become of B. समझ आ गया? So till the time he has not paid the cash. So children, answer me. Till the time B has not paid the cash, who will remain the owner? So if A is giving the goods to B on cash on return basis, जब तक cash payment नहीं होती है, who will remain the owner? Mr. Ayush Mishra, आप बताइए, who will remain the owner? कौन रहेगा owner? Very good, Vedahi Gohil. If you have understood, that's great. Bhumika Seni, appropriation means selection of goods. So how you appropriate means how you select the goods, that has to be written. Excellent, all those who have answered. Seller, so seller is Mr. A. So very good, student. Till the cash is not paid, A will remain the owner of the goods. Now, before paying the price means B still not paid the price and B pledged the jewelry with C. What has he done? He has given the jewelry to Mr. C and taken a loan. What is the meaning of pledge? Pledge means when in case of movable properties, when you give the goods as a security in order to take the loan. So B very smartly pledged the goods with C. Has he done a right thing? No, ma'am, he has not done the right thing. He is not the owner. Seller A is the owner. So therefore, this A, who is the owner, can go and recover the jewelry from C. Okay? Very good, Juhi Kumari. He was not the owner. Therefore, B cannot pledge the goods further. And now A can quickly go and recover the jewelry from Mr. C. What is the answer to Y? The answer to Y is because in this case, sale has made on cash and return basis. However, in example number 7, the sale was made on sale or return basis. So in case of sale on return basis, those 3 points have to be seen. Remember, if he sings, he performs in any event, he performed in an event with that music system. So it was said that he has accepted the goods. And here, if you have pledged the goods, it means you have accepted the goods. So in this case, B becomes the owner and A can recover the price from B. In example number 9, cash was to be paid. Therefore, A only remains the owner. And now A can recover the jewelry back from C. Mr. Akash, he will not recover the price. He will simply take away his goods back because he was the owner. Okay. So very good, students. I feel very happy and contented when you all take so much interest and reply back. And that also all the correct answers you are sending today. So well done. अब बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सेक्शन आ गया. अब आपको सेक्शन 23 सबसेक्शन 1, 23 सबसेक्शन 2 एंड सेक्शन 24 क्रिस्टल क्लियर हो गए हैं. अब सेक्शन 25 I will be asking questions and you will be answering me back because this is little tricky, but again, if you pay full attention, you will understand. Reservation of right of disposal. Reserving the right. Now in section 25, here the seller is going to reserve the right to dispose. Let me explain it on a whiteboard today before we go on this. There can be two methods of reservation. I hope my screen is visible. Reservation of right of disposal of goods. Section 25. Now, how can I dispose the goods? Number 1, either I can do it with express reservation, or number 2, I can do it as an implied reservation. Now, what is the meaning of this express and implied? What is the meaning of express and implied? You all remember express contract, a word spoken. Implied means by your actions. Now here, under the express contract, where I have told you, here under the express contract, where I expressly tell you that, look, you make me the advance payment, then only goods become yours. A says to B that, see, I am selling you the goods, but only when you make my advance payment, then only good becomes yours. So who remained the owner here? If A is the seller, A seller says to B the buyer that only if you make me the advance payment, then only good becomes yours. So who remains the owner till advance payment? Have I given the goods? Yes, ma'am, I have given the goods to B. Very good. So, Mr. Prem, on sale on return basis, apply those 3 cases that we have discussed. On the basis of that, you can answer. A only remains the owner. Very good, that's correct. So, A has reserved the right of disposal. So, I am making the notes for you. This is how you have to make the notes. आप पूछते हो ना मैम notes कैसे बनाने हैं, इस तरह से बनाने. Here A has reserved the right of disposal expressly, बोलकर कि जब तक मेरी advance payment नहीं आएगी, I will remain. Now the question you keep asking me, if the goods get damaged, who will bear the loss? You answer me. Who will bear the loss, children? Will I bear the loss, you bear the loss, B bear the loss, or A bear the loss? Very good, Chanchal, Anjali, Jia, Rohit, Swastika, Sneha, Venkat Lakshmi. All of you are sending correct answers, children. So don't worry if I'm not taking your name. A is liable. Very good. A will be liable. समझ आ गया? This is your first paragraph that is written in the study material, section 25, subsection 1. Now let us come to the second paragraph. Second paragraph says, when a bill of exchange is drawn on the buyer or payment is to be made by check. Now, children, answer me one thing. If I sell goods to Miss Subhiksha, okay, मिस्टर आदित्य गुप्ता, हिंदी में समझना है आपने. अच्छा, मिस्टर आदित्य गुप्ता, अगर मैंने आपको गुड्स बेचे, आई हैव सेल द गुड्स टू मिस्टर आदित्य एंड मिस्टर आदित्य ने मुझे चेक दे दिया 10,000 रुपीज का. अब मैंने जब बैंक जाकर चेक लगाया तो मिस्टर आदित्य के अकाउंट में पैसे ही नहीं थे. तो चेक क्या हो जाएगा? चेक विल गेट बाउंस्ड, इट विल गेट डिसऑनर. इसी तरह से होगा. So if payment is being made by a bill of exchange or check, there is always an uncertainty. एक डाउट रहता है. तो मैंने आदित्य को विश्वास के साथ गुड्स तो दे दिए, बट he gave me a check and there was no money in his bank account. So आदित्य, आपने ठीक करा, गलत करा ना, अपने आप पे तो बैंक में पैसे ही नहीं थे एंड वो चेक बाउंस हो गया. अब अगर मैं सेलर हूं तो मुझे नुकसान हो जाएगा. तो मैंने इम्प्लाइड है कि राइट टू रिजर्व मेरे पास है. मींस अब अगर आपका चेक बाउंस हो रहा है 10,000 का, मैं एज ए सेलर आपके घर आऊंगी और अपने गुड्स वापस ले जाऊंगी. दैट मीन्स देयर वाज एन इम्प्लाइड reservation of right to disposal. What does it explain? Whenever I'm making the payment through a bill of exchange. Bill of exchange क्या होता है? All these are the negotiable instruments like a promissory note, bill of exchange, or check. Here, I am not very sure whether my payment will come or not. So I relied on Aditya. I was sure that he will make the payment, but he cheated with me, for example. Okay, example ले रहे हैं Aditya, सच में नहीं मान जाना. Okay, yes, Saloni, it means bounce. That's very good. So the check will get bounced if there is no payment in the bank account. This is what happens. So law says, wherever these negotiable instruments means the instruments which are used for making the payment. When you go and see enter, you will understand what are the negotiable instruments. As of now, आपने कॉमर्स में बिजनेस स्टडीज में भी पढ़ा हुआ कि बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज क्या होता है. एक बिल ड्रॉ करता है, ड्रॉयर ड्रॉई बिल ड्रॉ करते हैं, या फिर चेक से पेमेंट होती है, या फिर प्रोमिसरी नोट में प्रॉमिस दिया जाता है कि मैं आपको इस दिन पेमेंट करूंगा. सो लॉ कहते हैं, सेक्शन 25 सबसेक्शन 2 कहते हैं, इन ऑल दीज केसेस देयर इज एन implied reservation of right to disposal, which means unless and until my payment is not made, I remain the owner. So who is this I? I means seller. Again, if the goods get damaged or destroyed, seller will be liable, not the buyer, because this is known as implied right to reservation. So one is expressed where advance payment I have demanded, or I have said that I will make you the delivery if so and so condition is fulfilled. So all these are the section 25 talks about the conditional appropriation of goods. Here we are talking about the conditional appropriation. Means जो आप appropriate कर रहे हो goods, conditional appropriation. Okay, so I am imposing a condition for appropriating these goods. Either it is an express condition or it is an implied condition. When a bill of exchange or check payment is to be made, then there is an implied reservation of right. And when there is a simple condition which has been imposed, then there is a implied conditional appropriation. समझ आ गया सबको? Let's see from the study material. This is what study tells you. Where the sale of specific goods are made, let's read the analysis. It becomes easier. So this section reserves the right to disposal to secure that the price is paid. Basically, हम reservation of right कब करते हैं ताकि हमारा पैसा पे हो जाए, price money पे हो जाए. So where there's a contract for sale of specific goods or where the goods have been subsequently appropriated, he reserves the right until certain conditions have been fulfilled. मैंने आपको अभी समझा दिया white board पे कौन सी conditions है. In spite of the fact that the goods have been delivered to the buyer, the purpose of transmitting, here the property still remain, तो इसको underline कर देना. Here the property still will not pass to the buyer until the conditions are fulfilled, which has been imposed by the seller. So under section 25, I already made you write down who remains the owner, seller remains the owner. So section 23, subsection 1 and 2, buyer is the owner. Unconditional appropriation, section 25, subsection 1 and 2, seller is the owner because there is a conditional appropriation. Now all the eyes and ears here. Example number 10. X sends the furniture to a company by a truck and instructs the driver not to deliver the furniture until the payment is made. Please explain me example 10. The property passes only when the payment is made. In example 10, which section is applicable and who is the owner? पढ़ो example 10 दोबारा and मुझे बताओ who is the owner. And thank you all those who have written. You have enjoyed the understanding of this concept. That's great. I'm happy that you have enjoyed. All right. Anshika, negotiable instruments, ये इंटर का पार्ट है. We will not do it here. सिर्फ इतना समझ लो कि check, bill of exchange from misery note, ये modes of payment है, which are known as negotiable instruments. Okay. सलोनी डिस्पोजल मीन्स किस तरह से यूज करना है. डिस्पोज का मतलब होता है जैसे हम अपने घर में डस्टबिन में चीजें डिस्पोज करते हैं, थ्रो करना. और जनरल सेंस में डिस्पोजल मीन्स हाउ टू यूज इट. सो दैट राइट ऑफ यूजेज इज ईदर विद द बायर और विद द सेलर. ओके. Excellent, all those who have written X will remain the owner. No, Jia Walia, this is not the case for sale on cash and return basis. Once you have instructed the truck driver, all those who have written seller remains the owner, that's correct. Very good, Shruti Tiwari, you are right because you have studied earlier also with me. So you have written absolutely the correct answer. Here the seller has reserved the right to disposal. All those who are saying it's cash and return basis, no, it is not this case. Yes, Priyukta, there is an reservation case, that's correct. This is the section 25 case. This is not section 23. Anishka is right, Pratima is right, Om Gupta is right, Rohit is right, Rohani is right, Anjali is right, Prem is right, Naman is right, Krishna Singh is right, Komal Preet is right, Shruti Maheshwari is right, P. Yamini is right, Janani V is right. Very good. Angel is also right. So all those who says that, why? Because Ankita says company only get the furniture when truck driver. No. Here, because I've instructed the truck driver, this line. What does this line means? Where I've instructed the truck driver, this line means that I have reserved my right to dispose. मैंने उसको इन्फॉर्म कर दिया ट्रक ड्राइवर को कि फर्नीचर मत देना जब तक मेरी पेमेंट नहीं. So I am instructing. If you want to apply that case, otherwise for cash and return, I would have specifically written that I am sending furniture on cash and sale basis. Then I will not need to instruct the driver. That is the condition of cash. Here I am reserving my right, express reservation of right to disposal has happened. Therefore, seller will remain the owner. Now, if the goods get damaged on the way, who will bear the loss? Seller or buyer? Excellent. Seller will bear the loss. I know you all are correct. Venkat Lakshmi, Chandana, Tanvi, Akash, Ritu, Krishna Katel. Excellent, Vishnu. Lavina, Saloni, Subiksha, Sapanali, Amar. All of you are correct, children. Seller will bear the loss. Clear ho gaya? So these are the cases. Seller under the right to disposal if the goods are shipped. Number one, this is the case of expressed reservation where seller will prima facie deem to have reserve. Means when I'm selling it through railway receipt or bills of exchange, I am telling that the goods should be delivered. Here the goods are deliverable on the order. जहां पे मैंने कह दिया है कि seller जब order करेगा तभी देना. Then I am prima facie means I am apparently. But it means that I have reserved the right. And again, this is the case of bill of exchange where only once the payment has been made, then only the goods will get transferred. Now let's come to, so this is section 25 and section 23 subsection 2, which I made you write down in the notes also. Section 25 is conditional appropriation. Section 23 is unconditional appropriation. What is section 26? Student, section 26 is very, very simple. It means if I am the seller, these are my goods, I have kept it. If they get damaged, I will bear the loss. I sell these goods to buyer B. B becomes the owner. Now, if the goods get damaged, he will bear the loss. So this is the meaning of this line. Risk prima facie passes with the property means, please write it down. Prima facie का meaning ही बता रही हूँ बेटा, लिखो. Yes, Mr. Uzair Nazir, you are correct. MCQs, yes, we will be taking MCQs after this. Section 26 says prima facie, it means whosoever is the owner will bear the risk of loss. If buyer is the owner, he faces the risk. If seller is the owner, he faces the risk. All right. So unless general rule is, what is the general rule? Please understand and underline. The general rule is that goods remain seller's risk until the property is transferred. So till the time I am a shopkeeper, I have kept all the chocolates, soaps, shampoos in my shop. I am the owner, I will bear the risk. Tomorrow, if earthquake occurs or any fire occurs, I have to bear the loss. Once the property has been transferred to the buyer, then buyer will be responsible for those goods. Let us take a very interesting example over here. A sold certain goods to Mr. B. So there was Mr. B who came to my shop and she picked up few chocolates, few chips, few bottles of Coke and just got it packed and made me the payment of 500 rupees. So A sold all these goods in the grocery shop, packet was packed and was delivered to Mr. B and Mr. B made the payment. Miss B made the payment of 500 rupees. So this Miss B tells me, ma'am, can I keep the goods in your store and I have to go for my further shopping? I said, okay, fine. Why don't you go and then on your way back, collect the goods. Now, suddenly, a fire occurred in A's shop and all these goods got destroyed by fire. Who will bear the loss? A will bear the loss for these 500 rupees or B will bear the loss? Please tell me. Who will bear the loss? Fire occurred. So now, who will bear the loss? A will bear the loss or B will bear the loss with answer. Thank you so much, Miss Sahana. B will bear the loss. Very good. Pranati, Anishka, Aditya, क्या बात है? क्वेश्चन बोलने से पहले ही आंसर्स भी दे रहे हो आप. इतने इंटेलिजेंट हो गए हो आप सब. Swastika, Priyukta, Jia, Komal, Bhumika, all of you are correct, children. Why B will bear the loss? Because B has become the owner. Please take care of your goods. I am not responsible for your goods. Fire has occurred. Even I have faced a loss. So these could also get destroyed. However, Section 26 says the exception to this rule risk follows ownership. If delivery has been delayed because of the fault of buyer and seller, then whosoever is in default will bear the loss. अब इसका मतलब भी समझ लेते हैं. A told B that I have packed your goods, they have already been packed and they have been kept in my godown. Please, Mr. B, come and take them. Now the goods were to be collected on 1st February 2023 and B came on 1st March 2023. And the goods got destroyed till then. They got damaged. Now who will bear the loss? Loss is B will have to bear the loss, even though the goods were in A's custody, but B made a delay in coming and picking the goods. Therefore, B will bear the loss. Similarly, if any delay is made by seller, say for example, the goods were to be given by 1st February, seller is giving them on 1st March. Now, if between February to March the goods get destroyed, seller will bear the loss. So you can write down whosoever makes the delay, either buyer or seller, that person will be held liable for the loss. All right. So there are two qualifications. If any delay has been made by buyer and seller, then that person who has made the default will be liable. However, the duties of buyer and seller should be as of bailey. बार बार ये बात बता रहे हो आप लोग कि अगर आपकी गोदाउन में फायर अकर हो रही है तो इफ यू आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योर गुड्स प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ दीज गुड्स ऑल्सो. व्हाई? बिकॉज यू आर एक्टिंग एज अ डीलर. It is your moral responsibility to take care of others' goods also. But otherwise, if they get damaged, आपके भी खराब हो गए हैं, बी के भी खराब हो गए हैं, तो जिसकी भी गलती है, whosoever is at fault means गलती, then that party is liable for these mistakes. Example 11 and 12 कर, then we'll take a short break. Let's read the example 11. A bids for an antique painting at a sale by auction. What is the auction sale? Have you ever heard about auction sale? In the movies, you must have seen नीलामी. Auction sale को हिंदी में कहते हैं नीलामी. तो जैसे किसी का घर नीलामी पे कोई बेच रहा है तो वो बिड्स इनवाइट करता है, लोग आकर डिफरेंट प्राइजेस बताते हैं एंड जो भी हाईएस्ट प्राइस बताता है उस पे वो गुड सेल हो जाता है. So auction sales means different bids are invited. Whosoever quotes the highest bid, the goods are sold at that price. So there was an antique painting. Antique means पुरानी. So एक बहुत पुरानी कोई पेंटिंग पड़ी हुई थी एंड इसकी नीलामी की जा रही है, सेल बाय ऑक्शन करा जा रहा है. So after the bidding was made, somebody said, I want to buy it for 5,000. Somebody says 10,000. Somebody said, I want to buy it for 15,000. So the auctioneer is the person who is conducting the sale. And how the sale is made on the fall of hammer, he will say, tuck, it's done. So while stucking the hammer, he by mistake hit the antique painting, which got damaged. Who will bear the loss over here? Who should bear the loss? Should the buyer who has quoted the highest price, he will bear the loss, or the seller will bear the loss? Yes, Kavita, a lot of people come to buy a good in case of auction. That's correct. And everybody gives a quote a price for this. Seller will bear the loss. Venkat Lakshmi is the first one. Subiksha, Sneha, Swastika, Ditya, Kavita, all of you are correct. So it means here the goods property is not passed. It is my property. It's the antique painting is still lying here. I just on the fall of hammer broken the painting. So I am as a seller responsible. Let's read example number 12. Please, all of you read example 12. So Muhammad Shoaib, auctioneer is the person from the seller side only. So basically he and the seller, whosoever is the owner, will have to bear the loss. Why he is bearing the loss? Loss is to be borne by buyer in example 12. Why? In the previous example 11, seller was bearing the loss. That's correct. In example number 12, children, buyer is bearing the loss. Why? Please give me the answer. Yes, Prayukta, it's an offer to sell. That's great. Seller will be in loss, Krishna. That's great. Because it is his fault. Okay. Mr. Manish Singh, in this particular case, सिर्फ जो example दिया उस पे concentrate करो. If you say fire is occurring, water is falling, all those things are happening, and whosoever is the owner will bear the loss. Swastika Verma, excellent, great answer for example 12. Namanpreet, good. Example 12, everybody please answer. Swapan Ali, you're still saying seller. We are on example 12. Gautam is correct. Very good. All those who have Shruti, buyer should act as a bailey of the goods, delay in buying. All those who have written buyer will bear the loss because he made delay in accepting the goods. That's a correct answer. And definitely the seller should have acted as a bailey. That is correct. But even if the goods have been lost, the loss has to be borne by buyer. Why? Because he made a delay in collecting the goods. Clear, okay, students? Let's take a small break. And after this break, we are going to cover the last topic of this chapter, that is transfer of title. Okay, thank you so much. All right, students. So I have seen your responses. All of you have answered correct for those examples, and I could not find any more queries in this. So very well done. That's wonderful. Only Miss Sneha Singh is asking what is the meaning of transfer of title. So that is the topic that anyways we are going to start with. But before that topic, let us quickly cover the MCQs also. Since you all have been good students today and you have been answering each and everything correctly. So sale on cash and return. So when you refer to my notes in the presentation, it's already uploaded on the portal. You can refer the notes from there. So all the briefings of section 23, 25, 26 is written over here. And these in red, I have highlighted the points which you need to remember. So it's a quiz time. Let's test your knowledge. Property in the goods, we have already done this one. Who will bear the risk is also done. This also be there. These all MCQs we have already done. Let me take you to the MCQs. I think we have already done these MCQs. Have we covered the MCQ, students? All right, so we have already done these MCQs. We can just check on the last MCQ, which was not covered the other day. Okay. Appropriation of goods, you all have done, separating the goods, packing and delivering the goods without reserving the right. So appropriation specifically means where it is an unconditional appropriation. Example number 7. This was the only question number 7 we have not done. Where the seller reserves the right to disposal of the goods, ownership still remains with the seller. Is it true or is it false? Is it true or is it false? Please tell me. Question number 7 in front of you. Yeah, Ruhani, thank you so much. Even I could see we have done those questions. Don't worry. Yes, Khushi, you can answer this one. Question number 7. Swastika, Om, Manchika, Kriti, Palobi, all of you are correct students. True is the correct answer. So we have just done it very fresh in our mind. So when the property is passed, seller reserving the right means he's keeping the right with himself. He only remains the owner. So this is very much true. All right, don't worry. So these are the previous questions which have come relating to delivery of goods. So we will be discussing about the delivery also. May 2018 question paper, direct question came, what are the rules for the delivery of goods? So delivery of goods means, again, performance of contract of sale. When we do that part, in that we will be covering delivery of goods. Now let's move to a new fresh topic, that is section 27, transfer of title. Okay, transfer of title section. Even if you have any doubts after the session, I'll give you 5 minutes after this topic, then we can take up the doubts. Abhi, for next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, all the eyes and ears here because it's a very, very important topic. Now, I have always been telling you title means ownership. So here this title is meaning ownership. Now we're going to transfer this ownership. So all of you have learned that the goods sold by a person who is not the owner and who does not have the authority to sell cannot pass a good title to the buyer. Remember, implied condition as to title, only if you are the owner of the goods, then only you can sell the goods. If you're not the owner, you cannot sell the goods. Okay? So if you're not the owner and you don't have any authority, then buyer will not get a good title. So for example, if you are Mr. B who is not owning the goods and the goods are mine, I'm Mr. A, I have the goods and you are my neighbor. If you pick up and run with my goods and you go and sell it in the market and buyer buys it from you, can you pass a better title? No. It says if you don't have the authority, because you don't have the authority because you're not you. So section 27 uses a Latin maximum, that is nemo dat quod non habet, which means you cannot sell something which you do not own. Namo, that word non-habit means that no one can give what he has not got. Remember, under Indian Contract Act, finder of lost goods, was he the owner? What was he supposed to do? He was supposed to return the goods to the true owner. पढ़ा था आपने? उसी तरह से, if you're not the owner, you cannot sell the goods. So section 27 clearly ये बोलता है अगर आप ओनर नहीं है तो आप नहीं बेच सकते. But there are 8 exceptional cases where even if you're not the owner, you can sell the goods. So लॉ में जब भी कोई रूल आता है ना, इस रूल का मिसयूज ना किया जाए, तो इसलिए एक्सेप्शंस आ जाते. So now if I say nobody can sell the goods, तो मर्केंटाइल एजेंट तो गुड्स ही नहीं बेच पाएगा. हमें उसे एक्सेप्शंस में डालना पड़ेगा. याद है जब मैंने आपको मर्केंटाइल एजेंट समझाया था फर्स्ट डे डेफिनेशन, I told you that he is the only one person who is not even the owner, but still under law he has been given the right to sell the goods. So similarly, there are 8 such categories of people who are not the owners, but still they can make a valid sale. So that is sale by mercantile agent, by joint owners. If you are jointly owning the property, still one of them can sell the goods. So all these cases, sale by a person under voidable contract, estoppel, all these cases one by one, line to line, we will be reading from the study material as well as making notes. You can see in May 2019, a question came in the exam. A non-owner can convey better title to the bona fide purchaser for value. Discuss the cases where a person other than owner can transfer. So if such a kind, straight away 6 marks question come where he's asking you, please tell the cases where other than owner can transfer the title, then you simply have to write these 8 points or maybe 6 points you can write. All right. So again, let's once again open the study material because study में सारी detail word to word दी हुई है. उसमें से ही हम आज notes भी बनाएंगे. I'll make you underline the points and also write it down in different points. So this is section 27, which says that you cannot sell the goods which you have not bought. So A sells stolen goods. So I just told you this Mr. B, Mr. A, he has stolen the goods from my house and B is buying in good faith. B will get no title and the true owner has the right to take back the goods from B. So example number 13 is strictly the case of breach of implied condition as to title. So where you have studied about the implied condition as to title, example number 13 is the case of breach of implied condition as to title. What is example number 14 telling? Example number 14 is the case of hire purchase. It says where P, the hirer of vehicle under hire purchase agreement, sells them to Q. Now I have purchased the goods under hire purchase and I'm selling them to Q. Students, let's get back to unit 1, formation of contract of sale. So under hire purchase, do you become the owner? Yes or no? First tell me that. The hirer who has taken my goods, does he become the owner? Answer me quickly. All those who have written, no ma'am, he does not become the owner until the last installment is paid. That is the correct answer. So you need to pay the installments. Remember, under hire purchase, I have taken the bike on hire, 10,000 rupees. I'm paying monthly 1,000 installments. Only after the last installment, 10,000 is closed, then only I become the owner. So if I ask you, if I say, Miss Prayukta, so Miss Prayukta has purchased the phone from me on hire purchase agreement. And now Prayukta is selling these goods further to Mr. Vedant. So Prayukta took this mobile phone on hire purchase and he is making me the payment. Monthly installments are being paid. And in between, say for example, 5 installments were over and before paying the 6th installment, Prayukta sells it to Mr. Vedant. Will Mr. Vedant become the owner of these goods? Yes or no? Mr. Vedant will become the owner of the goods, yes or no? Vidisha, Bhumika, Momita, Swastika, all of you are correct students. Higher purchase is very important to understand. Venkat Lakshmi, Anand Gaur, Saloni, Aditya, Amit, सबने ठीक जवाब दिया है. Exactly. She cannot sell the goods because she is not the owner. Miss Venkat Lakshmi, that's correct. Khushi, Chanchal, Momita. So Khushi, these are again kind of MCQs where you have to answer, right? Good. Pranati, Varun, Ankit, Swastika, Chandana, Krishna, Katel, all of you are correct children. So here I can simply go and take my mobile phone back from Vedant. I will say that Prayukta has not completed her installment. She has not become the owner. So section 27 will apply under hire purchase. If you are not the owner, you cannot sell the goods for. This rule is made, if this rule is enforced, innocent buyers will be put to loss. Now, you made this mistake and this buyer, Vedant, he got into trouble. उसको तो पता ही नहीं था कि आपने गड़बड़ करी है. आपने हायर परचेज एग्रीमेंट में मुझे गुड्स बेचे हैं. So law said in order to protect the innocent buyers, number of exceptions has been given to this. So number one rule is owners only can sell the goods, non-owners cannot sell the goods. So innocent buyer was always falling in a trap. He's purchasing the goods from a person who is not the owner, and then the true owner will come and take back the goods. So law said there are certain exceptions. If these are the cases, then it is a valid sale. Other than this, any person sell the goods and he's not the owner, it will be a crime. It will not be considered as the right. So let us read down the first exception, sale by a mercantile agent. So these are the three conditions which needs to be fulfilled. Mercantile agent will pass a good title, means good ownership. आप पूछ रहे थे टाइटल का मतलब ओनरशिप पास कर. तो आप गुड ओनरशिप, गुड टाइटल तभी पास कर सकते हो if you are in the possession of the goods with the consent of owner. So there is a mercantile agent, Mr. P, and the true owner is Mr. A. And A said, I am giving you the goods to Mr. P in Pune to make the sale further to the customers. All right. So now this mercantile agent should have the goods in consent with Mr. A. So he is having the goods in his possession. In his possession means he is owning the goods only with permission of Mr. A. If Mr. A says, I will not give you the goods, then this section is not applicable. Here he is having the goods only with consent of Mr. P. He is doing the further sale to the customers in the ordinary course of business. He should be making the further sale in the ordinary course of business, and the buyer should have acted in the good faith. What is the meaning of good faith? Means he is trusting Mr. P to be the owner of the goods. He is assuming, he is thinking that, okay, fine, P is the owner of the goods and I can buy from him. Then it is considered as a valid sale. So A is the true owner, Mr. P is the mercantile agent. Mr. P further sell the goods to Mr. Q. So will the Q become the owner? Yes, ma'am, Q will become the owner. Number one, if P is having the goods with consent of A, if P is making the sale in ordinary course of business, and Q is acting in good faith. Acting in good faith means he's the real owner, he's the real buyer, he's not doing any kind of fraud. He's actually making the purchase. He's making the payment and he's making the purchase. Now this line is very interesting. It says, and he has no notice of the fact that seller had no authority to sell. So provision to section 27 children, it says that this buyer, Mr. Q, he is having no notice. उसको नहीं पता कि ये जो है ये mercantile agent है, ये true owner नहीं. Neither Mr. A, जो true owner है, he has not sent any notice of withdrawal. Sometimes A sends a notice of withdrawal that, look, Mr. P, your agency is ending now. Now you cannot sell the goods further. So no such kind of notice has been received by Mr. P, the mercantile agent. Neither Q is thinking him to be the non-owner. He's assuming that you are the owner. Therefore, he can sell the goods further. Clear हो गया? Who is a mercantile agent? Mercantile agent वो बंदा है जो ordinary course of business में sell कर रहा है goods which belong to a true owner, and he's also sending them on consignment. So consignment is another kind of sale which you are making. You are giving the goods from the consignor to consignee, and further sale will happen. So mercantile agent has the right to sell the goods, to consign the goods, to buy the goods, and to raise money. Remember 4 points in the definition we have already covered. He can even give the goods of the owner as a security, and he can raise money. Clear hai? Mercantile agent, section 27, everyone is clear on that. Let's move to section 28. Sale by one of the joint owners. Now students, A, B and C, they jointly own the bike. So 1/3 share of Mr. A, 1/3 share of Mr. B, and 1/3 share of Mr. C. And one day Mr. C said that I'm finding a customer, Mr. D, and I'm selling the good to Mr. D. So first you tell me that when A, B and C are the joint owners, can C sell the goods further to Mr. D? Is C is the alone owner of the goods? Tell me. Very good. Those who have written understood. That's great. I'm so happy. यगेश, मर्केंटाइल एजेंट हिंदी में वो होता है जो आपके बिहाफ पे गुड्स बेच रहा है. सपोज मैं दिल्ली में बिजनेस कर रही हूँ और मुझे पुणे में भी बिजनेस करना है, तो मैंने पुणे में किसी को हायर कर लिया अपने बिहाफ पे बिजनेस करने के लिए, तो वो एज एन एजेंट एक्ट कर रहा है. वो बिजनेस करता है, मैं उसे कमीशन पे कर. सो वो ओनर नहीं है, ही इज एक्टिंग एज माई एजेंट. ऑन माई बिहाफ ही इज सेलिंग माई गुड्स, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू फ्रॉम गो टू दिल्ली टू बॉम्बे एवरी डे. सो मैंने एक बंदा अपॉइंट कर दिया जो मेरे बिहाफ पे बिजनेस कर. ओके, all those who have said no ma'am, he cannot sell the goods, he should be taking permission of A and B, that's excellent. Why? Because he's not the owner. So you all said correct thing, but now I'm going to prove you wrong, because the answer is yes, the joint owner can also sell the goods. Even if he's not the alone owner, he's just the 30% owner, then also he can sell the goods. Why? Because I am not saying this, section 28 is saying. So mark point number 1, 2, and 3 with me. Number 1 point, if one of the joint several owners, so A, B, C are the joint owners, if one of them has the sole possession of goods, तो बाइक मिस्टर सी के पास ही खड़ी रहती थी, he was the sole possession means custody मेरे पास थी. Permission of co-owners, those who have written yes with the permission, that is the correct answer. And A and B से मैंने permission ली हुई थी कि बाइक मेरे पास. Point number 2, with the permission of co-owners. Point number 3, property in goods is transferred to any person. Now he is selling the goods. Point number 4, to such person who is buying in good faith. And point number 5, who this person not at the time of contract has any notice that the seller has no authority to sell. So this Mr. D is assuming that C is the only true owner to these goods. He's trusting him to be the true owner. He's buying the goods in good faith. And A and B has given the permission to Mr. C. Then one of the joint owners can make a valid sale. Samajh aa gaya? So A, B and C are 3 brothers and they are joint owners of a television and VCR. With the consent of B and C, VCR was in the possession of A. तो ए ने बी एंड सी से परमिशन ली हुई थी एंड उसको रोज मूवी देखनी होती थी वीसीआर पे. वीसीआर पता है आपको? पहले टीवी एंड वीसीआर पे मूवीज आती थी, जैसे अब तो नेटफ्लिक्स है, इंटरनेट है. तो उन्होंने एक वीसीआर रखा हुआ था, तो ए को ए वाज लाइक कि मेरे को ज्यादा मूवीज देखनी होती है तो मेरे पास ये वीसीआर है. एंड वो आगे वो टीवी एंड वीसीआर जो था उसको आगे पी को बेच देता है. ही सेल्स इट टू मिस्टर पी, who buys it in good faith. And he had no notice that A had no authority. A had no authority means A is not the only owner. उसको कोई ऐसा नोटिस नहीं आया हुआ था कि आप नहीं बेच सकते, ना ही P को ऐसा कोई इंटीमेशन था. So here P will get a good title to VCR and T. Understood? Example number 15. If you have understood, then give me the 3 conditions which P has to be fulfilled. So just assume this is the question. A, B, C are 3 brothers. They're the joint owners and VCR was in possession of A. I've given you the facts of the case and A is now selling it the goods to Mr. P. So what you will write in the points? Write down 3 points how this sale is a valid sale. So today you have got the practice of writing also in the class. Yes, Amit, even an Indian contract, that's good. Rohit, price, at what price he's selling, this is not the criteria here. This is here we have to understand whether he can sell it. Yes, Krishna Gatel, like a broker agent, that's correct. Shirinathi, yes, he can sell. I just explained you the point now. Now tell me the answer. Send me the points. Very good, students. Many of you have sent the correct answers. So I'll be just announcing the names of those who have given the correct answers. So any queries you have from descriptive questions also you can ask it today, because it will become too much if we'll cover it further also for all of you. Okay, Namanpreet, A and B must have given the permission. Buyers should be in good faith. No notice. Very good, Namanpreet. Excellent. The 3 points. Varun, very good. Sneha, Bidisha, Lavina, Jia, Swastika, Vedant, Krishna, Priyukta. All right, that's fine. He has the permission. From B and C should have also been written. That's good. Correct, all of you. Asha Begum, Vedahi is asking, can you tell me the 3 points? So the same 3 points you have to write, Vedahi, that Mr. C was in possession of the goods by permission of Mr. A and B. He have the right to sell the goods. He was, the other party was buying the goods in good faith, and he was not having any notice that the seller has no authority to sell. So 5 points that we have marked from this statement, out of that, the 3 points have to be taken for the answer. So all of you have given the correct answers. Very good, student. Ms. Chanchal, please ask specifically what you have not understood, which point you want me to explain, and I will explain. Yes, Mohammed Shoaib, this can be the case in case of joint promises. That's absolutely correct. All right, let's do one more point. We still have time. Let's cover point number 3 also. Sale by a person in possession under voidable contract. Now, quickly tell me, when is the contract voidable? Yes, Debashri, that's correct. Manish Singh, Amar Prajapati, all of you have said correct answers, students. Mr. Prem, Anand Goel, Janani, good. Please tell me, when is the contract voidable? When the consent is not free, excellent. When it is caused by coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, undue. Now all the eyes and ears here, please pay attention. Thank you, Ms. Pranati. I'm so happy that you're enjoying the session. That's great. Okay. So now what happens is, so this is the way you learn also now. So it's important that we keep on keeping such quizzes in between. You're answering me back. I'm checking your answers also. So we are thankful to ICA for giving us such a great opportunity. Students can also understand and the teachers can also pass on the knowledge. So that's good. So all these cases, if I try to ask you that at a gunpoint, I went to Mr. P and I said, sell me your car. So what will Mr. P say? Mr. P will get scared. Yaar, ma'am ke haath mein to gun hai. She'll shoot me if I'll not give. So he quickly gives me the car keys and he takes, please leave me, take my car. Now, what kind of contract I have formed over here? It's a voidable contract. Now, this kind of contract is either resigned it, or it has to be put an end, or it is enforceable at the law. This is what you have learned in case of a voidable contract. Contract can be voidable at the option of one or more parties, remember? So here, either I can put an end to the contract and can take the person to the court and fight for it, or I let it be like that only. So the option has been given to the other party. Now what will happen is, in such a case, if I at a gunshot have taken the car from Mr. P, although it was a voidable contract and Mr. P did not do anything, and I go and sell this car to Mr. Q. Law says I have made a valid sale. Even if I was an owner by cheat. What are the 5 cases? Not thief. I'm not a thief. I'm not stolen. I have done coercion, or I have done undue influence, mistake, fraud, or misrepresentation. If out of these cases, I have taken the goods from the buyer, from the seller, then if I go and sell the goods to further buyer, I can pass a valid title. Why? Because X fraudulently obtains a diamond ring from Y. So here Y is the seller and X is the buyer. This contract is voidable. Why it is voidable? Means Y can either put an end to this contract, or he can drag Mr. X to the court, Mr. X to the court. But before this contract could be terminated, so it was a voidable contract and he did not put an end to it, X, the buyer, sells it further to Z, an innocent purchaser. उसकी गलती नहीं है, Z की थोड़ी ना कोई गलती है. उसको क्या पता कि X ये फ्रॉड से लेकर आया है रिंग, तो उसने ये रिंग ले ली. तो लॉ सेक्शन 29 में ये कहता है कि Z will get a good title and Y cannot recover the ring from Z, even if the contract is subsequently set aside. So what can the seller Y do? He can file a case against X for the recovery of money, but he cannot do anything against Z. He is the innocent purchaser. Number one, he gets a good title. Number one, Z will get a good title to the goods because it has been obtained under a voidable contract. Number two, the contract was not rescinded at the time of sale. Number three, he is acting in good faith. So wherever the sale is made, if you are in possession of the goods under voidable contract, if you have the goods under voidable contract, you sell the goods to a good buyer who is buying in good faith, and the contract has still not been terminated, then seller can pass a better title to the buyer. All right, so too much information for today. We have done section 23, subsection 1, 2 also. We have revised section 24. We have done a big lot of section 25, which is reserving the right to disposal. Section 26, we have covered risk passes with property. And 3 points of section 27 also have been covered in today's lecture. So in the next session, we will be completing and winding up unit 3 and starting with unit 4. So it is a very important session. Don't skip it at any cost. Now, if any queries, please tell me. Yes, Krishna, he can sue him and he can file a case against this person. I have also uploaded certain tests, MCQ questions. I will just get it checked why it is not visible to you. Everything has been uploaded on the portal, students. Please try to see it. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Rohani. Thank you, Vedahi. Thank you, Jia Walia. Thank you, Chanchal. Thank you, students. Krishna Gadel is saying, I love law because of you, because I appreciate the way you teach. Thank you so much, Krishna Gadel. And I appreciate the way you answer me back, all the students. So well done. Section 29 also. Mr. Om Gupta, which specific question are you asking? Please tell me which question are you asking. Are you asking about the mercantile agent or for the condition as to title? Mr. Om Gupta, where condition as to title has been breached, there the true owner can come and take the goods back from the buyer, and the buyer can recover the money from the seller. Thank you, Vidisha. If it's 100% clear, that's great. Okay, Kriti Kumari, I'll get it checked at the back end why it is not visible. Thank you, Venkat Lakshmi. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the classes. Yes, he will get his money back, Vedahi, if the goods have been sold under a voidable contract. Then Z will not be, Z will get the better title, but Y can recover his money from the person who has done fraud with him. Thank you, Swastika Verma. All right. Thank you, Subishka. Thank you, Vikasha. Vikas Jha, quiz time for the next time. You have already been answering so many questions today as a part of quiz. Thank you, Sneha Singh. Thank you, Ankita. Thank you, students. So please revise whatever we have done till now and be prepared for the next last session of Unit 3. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rom. Thank you, Naman. Thank you so much, students. Thank you, Mr. Nitin Sharma. All right, students. Goodbye. Take care. See you all on Friday.